Howdy y'all, TheJTJ here with Blender video tutorial number 1. Overview. If you haven't had a chance to download Blender, you can do that right here at blender.org/downloads. It's a pretty simple process. Once you have it downloaded and installed, I have an icon similar to this. So if you haven't installed it and you're working off a workstation, you'd want to look for this icon either on the desktop or in the start menu. So you just go ahead and open that up by double clicking and Blender will open. This is its default layout. Now today we're not really covering Blender in these tutorials, we'll just be working with the Blender video editing options. So when this comes up, you really don't have to do anything here. What you want to do is you want to come to right here in this drop down. You can select it and then you'll go to video editing. So once you do that, it will change your layout completely. Now the first thing to look at here, this is a pretty standard video editing software setup, but we'll make some changes on it here in a future tutorial. Today I'm just going to show you some of the things that you can do. So I will start by saying that Blender video editing is a little clunky. There are better programs to edit video in. However, Blender, because of its open source nature and it's a very solid program in general, it's kind of a good program to use if you're looking for free options. You're going to have to sort of do some workarounds for things. You're going to have to learn how to work on it being a little clunkier than some of the paid software that you can use. But it is really powerful and it has a lot of output options. It has a lot of input options. You can bring in all sorts of video into this and you have a lot of ability to adjust things and manipulate things. So up here you have your drop down, and this is your bar up top. It's going to have your regular options for saving and opening files and such as that. So if you got in here and you wanted to open more a movie that you'd been working on, you could do that from there. You have some render options here, window sizing options, and then the help. There's not a ton of drop downs up here as in your standard Windows software. Most of every pane has a its own set of drop downs. So if you were going to look to sort of start working on this, you'd want to drag a video in. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go up to file browser, and the file browser is a pretty standard file browser. I'll bring in a video. And to do that, all I had to do was left click, hold, and drag it down. And now it's in the video sequencing editor, and I can use the scroll wheel on the mouse to sort of zoom out and see that whole video. If you want to select something, this is the sound and this is the video. So you can separate them, you can crop them separately, and you can do adjustments on each one individually. I like to always draw a waveform on that, so it sort of lets you see, hey, here's where some pauses in the video are, and it helps with editing a little bit. The playable section of this is only going to be this highlighted section, so you can always expand it by clicking here and then figuring out, okay, it's at 8827. Now I've expanded sort of where it's going to play. The next pane is the timeline, and this is sort of where your play controls are, where your video starts, where it ends, things like that. So it has standard controls on that. Of course, here at the top is where your video is going to play. This is sort of your preview. It does look better in after it has been rendered than it will look in this. You can move your panes around, but if you notice in the corner, it has these little dashes. So if you hover over them little dashes, left click, hold, and drag it out, you can create new panes. And of course here you click on this and it'll allow you to set that pane to whatever you would like. So if you wanted it to be a text editor pane or a the other editors, you can totally set this up however you want to. If you're going to want to set up your outputs, the properties is the best way to do that. You have a lot of render presets and all the ability to export anything you want through this. Adding effects and different things, your videos like cropping and effects and things like that, it's done here under your video sequence editor. So you can go to add and you can add in images, you can add in colors, transitions. These are your frame controls and your strip. These are, you know, if you want to cut things or manipulate the single strip. And then whenever you've set everything up, you of course can save as you go. You can render it as an animation, and that's how sort of you output your videos. And that about does it for the overview. Please join us for Blender video tutorial number 2, setting up your folders. Thanks for watching.